Hello.
Yo, yo,
How are you today?
I am great.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining us today, taking time out of your day.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Secondly, congrats on Peaches. I mean, it took the world by storm. It's number one. Everywhere you go, you can't get away from it. Every time I see a peach, it automatically pops in my head. Can't help it. So, how did you always think that it was going to blow up the way it did? I mean, when you started producing it?
um, I knew it was a good song. Like I knew it was gonna be really, really like a good
Mm-hmm.
song on the album. Honestly, I didn't know it was gonna take off as fast. Like I thought it was gonna build up and possibly by like midsummer, kind of go crazy. I didn't think it was gonna do like come out like the next day and be like the biggest song. So
Yeah. And do you think that like the world we're living in today where like we're just consuming content? I mean, you're at home, you're in lockdown, like
right,
you're
right.
just looking for anything new, big. Do you think that also had an impact in like the
Oh, for sure.
trajectory of it?
For sure. I think, the pandemic too, like a lot of people were just at home doing nothing, like you said, looking for content. So I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. And I read that you saw Justin just doing a little melody on Instagram and automatically where you were like, so when you heard that, you were just automatically like, we need to make this another song.
Yeah, so I saw it and I put the flame emoji on his post and I was just like, yo, this is crazy. And then at the same time, the co-producer who produced it with me, Shindo, sent me like the screen recording of Justin playing, and then we went to the studio and like turned it into a full song. Because at first it was just like an 8-bar loop or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go to the studio and then like we produce it out. I send it back to Justin, and then like Justin was like, "Yo, this is crazy." Like I texted to him, and then like an hour goes by, like he FaceTimes me and was like, "Yo, like check your text messages. Like I just sent you something." So I check it, and then he had Giveon jump on it. Like he sent it to Giveon. Giveon wrote his verse in like an hour or something. Like he killed it, right? So then I listened to it. I'm like, "Yo, this is crazy." And then probably about a couple weeks later, we got Daniel on it. So, but that whole process happened in like one day. Like I saw it on Instagram. Like we go to the studio, like send it back to Justin. He sent it to Giveon. Giveon sent it back to Justin. Justin sent it back to me. And then like I finished the production on it. And then like I said, got Daniel on it. And then it was just out of here.
That's crazy though. Like, and is there something in the melody? Like, I mean, obviously not every melody is going to be a hit,
Yeah.
but is there something that just stood out in that moment that you held on to?
Oh, for sure. I mean, because it's a simple like chord progression. So like simplicity always is like the best when like writing hits, and it's like always the best way to kind of like catch everybody, because everybody's not a musician. Like most people in music are not musicians, so they don't really care about a super hard chord progression or something like that. So it's only 4 chords in the whole song, and it repeats itself. So like, and then just the melody of what he's saying, like he's connecting to everybody. Like I got my peaches in Georgia, that's the South. I get my weed from California, like West Coast. You know what I'm saying? I took my chick up to the North. That could be, of course he's talking about Canada, Toronto.
Yeah.
But that can be, you know what I'm saying, New York. That can be anybody.
Everyone connects to it,
and
for
then,
sure.
My life from the source, and, just giving back to God and everything. So he just connected like so many different communities with that one hook. So like when I heard the hook, I said, oh, this is going to be out of here.
And do you think that since you are a musician first and foremost, that like automatically influences the way you produce songs?
Oh, for sure. Like, because I always start off with like the melody, because like you said, I'm a musician. I play the guitar, piano, bass, drums. So yeah, I always just start out every song that I do with the melody and try to, catch the best progression or the best like chord melody that I can.
Was that always the what you wanted in the end though, to be a producer, to add that to your resume? Was that always a goal?
Yeah, well, I'm living my dream that I dreamt at like 14 or something. Like right now is something that I dreamed like when I was in high school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you first get into music?
Well, I come from a musical family. My mom's a musician. My brothers are musicians. My father, my uncles. Like, so I really didn't have a choice. Like my grandmother is a opera singer, classically trained.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so music just always been a part of my family. So like growing up, like there was a piano like in our living room. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
we'll just all sit around and play, and then yeah, I didn't have a choice really. It's in
Was
my
there something
DNA.
about the bass guitar that you were drawn to? I mean, you said you played piano, but what about that specific instrument? Like,
Yeah, so my older brother, growing up, my older brother's 2 years older than me. He played the piano, and I was just like, I need to do something different than what he's doing. I didn't want
oh,
to do,
okay.
yeah, I didn't want to do the same thing.
Yeah, always the siblings.
Yeah, yeah. So I picked up the bass, and it just stuck with me. Yeah. And plus,
And that's
the bass is the coolest instrument in the band. Like anytime you go to any
mm,
concert, look at the bass player because he's 10 times out of 10, he's the coolest person on the stage.
no bias there.
Yeah.
Not biased at all.
Yeah.
So you started as a bassist, and that's how you met Justin, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Yep.
And then that just blossomed into you being a touring musician first with him?
Yeah. Yeah. So like you said, I started out as just a bassist in his band like back in 2010. And I was always producing it and making beats and stuff like that. So, but yeah, started out as just a bassist like a decade ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And do you think, I mean, based on a decade ago compared to now, compared to Justice, changes to Purpose, your producing has changed in any way or evolved?
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's, it just evolves with the current sounds of music. And as a creator, I always want to push the sound music forward. Like what's happening now is something that I was thinking I wanted to do a year ago. And like right now I'm trying to think like what's music going to sound like in 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I always just, being a creator, want to create the next vibe or the next wave.
And with that, I mean, how do you grab inspiration from someone without just like reproducing the same sound? Or, I mean, when you're looking forward, what do you take into consideration, I guess?
Yeah. I don't know. I get inspired by like the most weirdest things. Like I don't get inspired by music. Like I really don't really listen to music that much. Like, cause
Okay.
I don't want to like get just so much in my mind or whatever. But yeah, I'll get inspired by like a conversation, or like a date or something or anything. Like I'll get inspiration by like driving through Hollywood and be like see trees and like the vibe of things, and I get inspired that way.
Creating content and being creative, and Peaches blew up and everybody's adding their own creative outtake on it, like with TikTok dances, creating their own remixes. When you see that, what's your feelings and emotions towards, I mean, like your creative outlet is directly influencing somebody else's creative outlet.
No, it's super humbling. It's just cool to see people like that I inspire, like do twist it and do their different little renditions of it. Like it's just cool.
And have you seen any that you're like, would have never thought of that, but that's great?
Yeah, the other day I saw like somebody on a violin, like I think in Amsterdam somewhere, like just playing like the Peaches melody on a violin, like on a canal or something. I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, just seeing that and to think that it came from your head is, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And when we get back to like live music, do you think performing that live in front of a crowd will be different than just performing a song maybe that you didn't have hands on?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, we performed it a few times already. We did the Tiny Desk. We just did The Voice. It just aired like 2 days ago or whatever. So yeah, we performed it, but we haven't done it in a concert yet. So
yeah. And I feel like it's totally different environment. I mean, especially if the song is like mid set list, everybody's hyped, or the ending, like the finale, like it, depending on where it lands, it's gonna have a different reaction.
Yeah.
Also, do you have a favorite venue or maybe location that you're really excited to play it at?
Yeah, the O2 in London is probably like one of my favorite spots. So yeah, I'm super excited for that because we normally do that like 3 nights in a row. Yeah, so like just to run that back to back and then to play Peaches that I produced and then to play it and to perform it and to watch the reaction of people in a concert. Yeah, it's gonna be so real.
Is there a way to, I mean, day to day, I mean, you're playing the same set list over and over again, but it never gets old. What do you think that it attributes to that?
Just, I mean, during the show, it never gets old, period. Like, it don't matter what song, because, like, yeah, we may be playing the same thing over and over, but like as a musician, you try to find something in every show that makes you happy. Like something the last show you didn't think about, you're thinking about this show. Like, you know, maybe, and the
Yeah.
venues change, the energy is different. Like every show is different because just the layout of the venue, just, you know, the fans, like one city may react to a song different than the next city. So it's just like, you really never get bored with playing the same set because the audience is different every time.
As a musician, can you tell like what this audience is gonna really like this song, or this audience is gonna really go off during this part? Can you?
No,
It's
we
all
really don't
just.
know. Yeah, we just, you know, we create the show, how the show is, and how it's
Mhm.
perceived is, like I was saying, it's totally different per show.
Yeah. And being a music director, I guess, what else do you like contribute to aside from just like after the song is put out and finished? What do you like? I guess what's the biggest takeaway that you take from after it's been put out, after the reactions come in? Like,
And then for me being a music director,
yeah.
oh yes, it's just making the song translate in a live setting. That's really all I do. Like, so Justice, we just put the album out, and every song has its own vibe. So it's like my job is really just to make sure that it translates. So when we start playing these arenas and these stadiums, that A, the song still sounds like the song. Like I don't want to change it too much.
Yeah.
And then B, just add a little super sauce on it. You know, if we the band, like my band, we the band. So, you know, we don't never try to change the song too much. We just, you know, play the music, and then, like I said, throw a little razzle dazzle in there every now and then.
And is that like trial and error when you're coming up with that? Is
Yeah,
that in
not trial
rehearsals?
and error. Like we kind of know, like let's do like a line or band lick, or this outro may fit here. Like we kind of
Mhm.
know, but it's definitely like work. Like, you know, we rehearse a lot, so like we all just kind of spit out ideas and bounce off each other, and then come up with the arrangements, and you know we just go from there.
A super collaborative effort then
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's no one man doing all of that. That's too much.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
even with one song, like you were saying, like going back and forth and then all these hands. Also, when there are that many voices, how do you guys not clash? Is that just a comfort, being comfortable
Just
with one
respect.
another?
Yeah, like we're all bros. We the band, like we're all brothers, and we just respect each other. I think in any situation when there's respect, like you don't really clash. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, of course we're all, you know, we have our times where we may butt heads, but you know, the respect is there that stops, you know, the bad energy. It's all good energy. Yeah.
Yeah. And have you guys over the past decade? I mean, just that's just very comfortable with you guys now, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like brothers now.
Okay. And then, do you think pandemic obviously changed the course of the way that this album was created? Do you think that producing from here on out will continue on that path, start a new path, because, or go back to the way it was before?
Uh, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. It's hard to say because I think Zoom sessions, it will probably stay now because, you know, it kind of makes it
Mm-hmm.
convenient for people to work on albums and not necessarily be in the same studio session at the same time. So I think that's something that may stick around, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say like what's gonna like what we're gonna keep from the pandemic. Like
Have
we'll
you
see.
adapted to Zoom sessions? Is it
I haven't
different?
done one
Okay.
Zoom session yet. Like I turned away from them. Like they used to try to get me to do it like early on. I was like, I don't want
Mm,
to do that. Like I'm good.
yeah. Is there, why, may I ask?
Because like when you're creating, for me it's so organic and it's vulnerable, and it's like I want to connect with the artist that I'm working with. Like I got to see the vibe. Like I need to see how they're bouncing to the beat that I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
I need to feel all of that energy, and like over Zoom you really can't, you can't catch that vibe. It's just like, oh, okay. And then like the audio is like off, and then you got to download like 6 little platforms so you can kind of match the audio, and it's just like it just takes away from the vibe. Like creating music should be fun. It should be always organic and cool. And I just think no hate to Zoom. I love Zoom. If anybody worked with Zoom, I love Zoom.
Of course, but it's like building a personal relationship with
Yeah,
someone.
yeah, yeah.
How do you guys think you did that with this album? Because it was a pandemic, and
Yeah, well, we were still hanging together every day, but I think what the pandemic did do for us, it kind of like slowed us down because like normally working on an album, it's like, especially for the artist, it's like jumping over there, listening to this, and like all like kind of like spaz brain. But like the pandemic made us like really slow down because we couldn't do anything. Like we couldn't go out to no clubs, no parties, no restaurants, no nothing. So we literally just like once a week played basketball and like listened to music and just vibed and like just hung out. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's how we were able to like from those chill sessions, we were able to go to the studio and just create, you know.
Do you think you'll take that skill of focus
Yes,
with you in the future?
yeah, that is definitely one thing I feel any artist now that I work with, like before we, work on the album, I feel like we should definitely have a regular relationship, like just a
Mm-hmm.
chill. Let's go to whatever that artist likes to do. Like with Justin, of course, because he likes to play basketball and sports, so
Yeah.
that's something that we'll just go and do and hang out. But whatever that artist thing is, like I feel like we should always tap into just like a cool human experience before we get into music. And that's something the pandemic made us do. Like normally we'd just jump right into the album or jump right into whatever this artist is looking for or whatever. So, but yeah, now it's I feel like we should get into more like human experiences.
During those one-on-one sessions, I mean, obviously you're not doing them with like, this is going to make a great song down the line. But when you're in the studio, do you think back to like those one-on-ones and you're like, wow, that actually could be put into a song, or something they said could be put into a song?
Yeah, I mean, normally 10 times out of 10, that's how we create the biggest songs. It's like off of conversations. And
Mm-hmm.
I love like tapping into wherever the artist is in their life. Like if they're happy, let's create a happy song because you should feel happy. And when you sing in this song, you're going to be happy because this is the emotion that you're feeling. If you're sad, let's create a sad song because like everybody's not happy all the time. Like, if you just got out of a breakup, let's write about that. Like if you're happy with your new relationship, let's write about that. Like, or you want to write about everybody's happiness, let's write about that. And that comes from that comes from like those conversations of just being in the studio and everybody just being honest with each other and vulnerable and like connecting.
All human connection.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite song off of Justice other than Peaches?
Yes, Somebody is my favorite song. I did that with Skrillex. I produced it alongside Skrillex and Ilya. And yeah, that's my second probably favorite song. And then Too Much, like how the album starts, like like that's my probably
that is one thing about Justice is the progression of song to song. Like it just flows so smoothly.
Yeah.
And then when I first listened to it, I finished and I was like, wait, it's done?
I want it again. Let me go.
I was like, it's time to start all the way from the beginning for sure. It just flows very great.
Too Much is a beautiful song, by the way.
Do you have a favorite Justin Bieber song, period?
Peaches.
Of course.
Outside of Peaches, favorite Justin Bieber song would probably have to be something off the Purpose album. So let's say like Where Are You Now? Probably one of my favorite Justin Bieber songs.
And is your favorite song, does that automatically transfer into your favorite song to perform, or
exactly? And that's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm saying that, because when we do Where Are You Now, it's just like such an epic song. Like it's just, I don't care what you're feeling when like you're playing that song. And like I know some of my bandmates, we the band, can feel the same way. Like you can be mad, like anything bad can be going on in your life, but like when we play that song, like you just feel like a rush of energy, like just when we play that song. So it's just like, it's crazy. And then the fan response is crazy. And then Nick Damore, the creative director, like his design for that song is like super epic, like lasers, just like everything happening during that song.
Of course. Yeah, totally makes sense. We're gonna take some fan questions really fast, the last like 5 minutes or so.
Yep, let's do it.
People are asking, are you ever gonna have your own album, and when is it coming?
Yes. I'm actually, me and my team now are mapping out like the layout of when I want to drop my own album. It's gonna be fire too.
Okay,
fire.
So there's a little tease, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Your favorite bassist?
Favorite bassist is probably Victor Wooten. It is Victor Wooten, not probably. It is.
And is there a specific reason or like
Um,
inspirational?
Cause I'm just down with like like slap bass, and he's like the
Okay.
king of slap bass. He's like and tapping, and just his musicality is like crazy. Like yeah, Victor Wooten.
People are saying, how long did it take you to produce Somebody if Peaches took like a day?
Somebody, we worked on Somebody for probably about a week. Like yeah, probably about a week strong, because we did like a couple different versions, and Justin was looking for a very particular sound. He wanted like a 90s rock vibe. So we did like probably like 6 different versions of Somebody before we got it to where it is now.
And is there a song that you've created that surprised you during the process of making it?
What do you mean?
Like when you're producing it, did it start somewhere and then while you were going along the process of producing and making, and you were like, oh snap, like we're going this way now. Oh no, wait, we're going this way.
I think that's every time I make a song. Like I'll start it, and then like as I go, I'm like, yo, this is smacking. Like yeah. I surprise myself, like, you know, every time I create, because, you know, when you're creating from nothing. So you never know how it's going to sound. It's just like I just have like this little chord melody in my mind, and I just start playing it out. And then like when you hear the finished product, you're like, oh, that was crazy. I did that from here, and then I got here. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So every song is just like
every
surprise.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, what's your favorite genre to create? Do you have one?
I really don't have one. Like, you know, me being a musician, like I love everything. Like I'll get in the car, I'll be listening to EDM one day, like rock the next day. Like Toto's my favorite band. Like I'll listen to gospel, like of course hip hop and R&B. So it's like, I don't know, I really don't have one.
Do you think that helps though with the creative process, having a wide variety of genres, I mean, in the back of your mind?
Oh, for sure. It helps when because you can put me in a room with anybody, and I think something great is going to happen just because I'm aware with so many different genres of music. I wouldn't classify myself as an R&B producer, pop producer, hip hop producer, anything. I'm just a musician. So yeah.
Some of these comments are just really funny to me. Any tips on how to make it as a music producer?
Yeah, just believe in yourself. Really, believe in yourself. Don't take anything personal. Have tough skin. Put yourself around positive people. You know, you may hear a million no's, but it really only takes one yes.
And then who's your favorite artist of all time?
Prince.
Why is it Prince?
Because he's just great. Well, he was great. He was great. I mean, he's a musician, songwriter. Like, what? I mean, come on. It's Prince.
Yeah, I mean, that answer kind of speaks for itself, honestly. Yeah. And now that you hit the goal of producer, like, what's next?
Like I said, like we discussed earlier, just my own project. I'm really excited about that. Just my own, putting out my own music, and then, you know, just keep producing and putting good music out in the world.
When it comes to your own music, are you going to take a different approach than you would normally, or stick with what you know?
I'm gonna stick with what I know. I feel like it's working, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why switch up?
Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, no worries. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Sorry for the dog interruption.
No, I love it. That was a human experience right there, the dog.
Yeah, for sure. That's how you know I'm chilling in my room. And
chilling in your room. Come on.
Can never tell.
Yeah.
It's going to happen on live. Anyway, thank you. I look forward to seeing all the songs live, especially Peaches. Yeah. It's going to be amazing. I already know. I already got my tickets.
Let's go.
And everybody else should get their tickets as well, because
go get them now, because they're gonna go fast. And don't be hitting me like, yo, can I get a ticket? Can I get VIP? Nope, you should have got your ticket a long time ago.
You're like, you do not understand. This is Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Us believers that have been here since the Christmas album are we were waiting in that queue for the tickets to hit as soon as they did.
Yeah, I produced Pa La La on that album too, the Christmas album. Yeah, that was
That's my favorite. I like my friends and family make fun of me because I don't like Christmas music. I don't know why. It's just
yeah.
I think it was working in retail and hearing it on loop at the mall.
Oh yeah, that would make you hate Christmas music for real.
But the Justin Bieber Christmas album, every year, even when it's not Christmas time, I'm like, I'm just feeling it. I need to put it on.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you for all the bangers. I appreciate it.
No worries. I'm gonna keep them coming.
Yeah, seriously. And it was great talking to you. Thank you.